Bonjour Africa, Commissar Va, West Africa, East Africa, SADC, how we doing? We're coming live to you from Midrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. This is 360 Sport, where we go around the globe giving you the latest in the world of sport. As you can all see, I'm flying solo this afternoon again. My co-host is not here today, but she will be here again maybe tomorrow. But there's a lot of things happening in our show today. We've got the latest in the world of football. We've got the latest in the world of cricket. We've got the latest in the world of rugby, a little bit of rugby, a little bit of cycling. Like we said yesterday, we'll just carry through that story of cycling again. Coming up on the headlines. Oh, by the way, we have a guest. I won't reveal the name of the guest and what he does. We'll be able to reveal the guest to you very shortly. My name is Mandla Dlamini. Like I said, let me bring you the latest in our headlines. We are going to be giving you cricket, starting with cricket this afternoon. It's all happening in the Pakistan South African women's cricket. It's all happening down in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal. And then we're also going to follow the latest in the world of the Indian and Australia tour. Things did not go well again in India, in Australia regarding the tour, but the Indians became victorious on the tour. And also we're going to look, we know that South African Proteas, they are in action as we speak in Pakistan, and there are some couple tours that are coming up as well in the world of cricket. That's after that we'll also go and give you the latest in the world of football. It's all happening in Spain. Yeah, we'll also take you to Italy, what happened in Italy in the Cups last night. We will also look in terms of what happened in the South African DStv Premier League in terms of the games that took place last night. You know, I've said this, my director was not happy with me, but I predicted it, that the consistency is going on with Mr. Gavin Hunt at one of the clubs, and we hope that, the results will reveal what I tried to mean yesterday afternoon. And then again, we will also look in the EPL in terms of what is happening in England. We will check what is going on there in terms of football. There's a lot happening. Frank Lampard was just shown the door yesterday, but the very same day, a new man takes the Ram as the manager at Chelsea Football Club. But we're definitely going to give you the details of that after this top stories in terms of cricket. Volgaard bowls the series whitewash for South Africa. 3 wicket apiece by Sharim Ismail, Shun Loose and Ayabonga Kaka prove in keeping the momentum. Proteas complete the 32-run win over Pakistan and win its 3-0 series whitewash after the final one-day international Hollywood bets. King Smith Stadium in Durban on Tuesday. Fast bowler Ismail claimed an incapable 3-22 follow Sima Kaka took 3-29, and the captain Louis Neb 100 wicket for South Africa with a 3-35. Those strikes ensured host defend 202 by restricting the tourist to 169 in the process, securing their biggest of the 3-match contest. It was also South Africa's 6th consecutive ODI win after they overcame New Zealand by the same margin when they toured the country last year. Victory was not comfortable as it would have been, however, after the home side again threw away a good start with the bat before being all out with the final ball of the innings. After the loss of the toss, and they were put into bat for the 3rd time in the series. Star opens Laura Volmart 58 of 72 balls. A good going for her in terms of 9. She hits like 9 fours. And Elise Lee 49 impressed with an opening stand of 79. The solid opening continued over the last departure of the later, thanks to Louis 15 at the home side, progressed to the 124 for 1 in the 28th over. Volmart bowlers sealed the series as a whitewash. It's again women's cricket here in South Africa, which is taking down in Durban, South Africa, and women's cricket, South African women's cricket, they've done well. This is the first tour of Pakistan again, women's Pakistan into South Africa. As you will know, we're replicating the same. The men, they've gone to Pakistan, and the women, they've stayed here in South Africa. Moving along, still with cricket, the Australian ex-Wade keep paying as the captain for the South Africa Test tour. Matthew Wade was axed on Wednesday for Australian Test series in South Africa after failing to fire against India. Under one pressure, Tim Payne retained the captaincy. Wade played all 4 games in the 10-2-1 home summer series lost to India, including of the 2 makeshift opener in the place of injured David Warner. But they managed to just 173 from his 8 innings with some rush shots, ultimately costing him his place in the side and seeing him replaced by Alex Carey as the backup wicket keeper. Instead, Wade will join Australia 2020 squad on their tour of New Zealand as vice captain to the out of form Aaron Finch. Australia are due to play 3 tests in South Africa. The tour was originally scheduled for early March this year, but now the tour will take place, was scheduled for February, but will eventually take place in March, but the dates have yet to be locked in due process. Again, Africa is one of those things that you cannot secure the dates and pen them down in terms of what is going on because of the pandemic. Obviously, there are proposed dates in March that are going to be put when Australians, they're going to be visiting South Africa. But for me, the story is very interesting indeed, because I thought they were saying Wade is being axed, so which means he's been fired. But for me, it's just like he's been benched for the next matches, which will be the 2020 matches in New Zealand. But as it may, it all happening now. The 5-game T20 tour of New Zealand runs from February 22 to the 7th of March, clashing with South Africa, meaning a host of players, including Warner, Steve Smith and Pat Cummins, were not available. Wade was aimed a casualty from India series with the squad otherwise much the same. Uncapped bowlers Sean Abbott, Michael Sinner and Michelle Swanepoel are again included with the fellow quick match. Skeketsi, Kerry, the only newcomers. Cricket Australia confirmed Indian players racially abused. This is a story, it's a sickening story for me. I wish I could not just even go through the story, because as you will know, we reported to you at 360 Sports sometime in December last year, that during the tour of India-Australia, when things were not going the way that the Australian fans, they felt that it must go, they started racially abusing the Indian players. But we commended the Australian Cricket Board by taking an inquiry. But to our amusement, that the inquiry, the results have been released now and concluded that the Indian players were racially abused during the 3rd test at Sydney Cricket Grounds, but cleared 6 people who were kicked out of the stadium. For me, it's sickening, because now the people that racially abused, the Indian players who were kicked out at the stadium, now when they do this inquiry, they just, clear them. So I don't know what it means, whether it happened or it did not happen, but the truth of the matter is that it was caught on camera where these fans were racially abusing, the Indian cricket players. But as it may, it's not for us here at 360 Sport to judge what goes down there. We think the world will judge the Australian Cricket Board in terms of what they do and how they handle their matters. It's their own story. All we know, we can only recommend to players that travel to Australia to say, have a crocodile skin, so that we are not scared, we are not bruised when they racially abuse you. Having said that, I think I've said a lot in this very short space of time. We're going to take a very short commercial break. And when we come back, I will bring you and introduce you to our guest that we're going to be sharing some very interesting story. Africa, keep tuned. My name is Mandla Dlamini. I'll see you after the break.
Make massive moves.
The space race has already started.
Russia had got the first object into space.
The coast is as wild today as it was when Europeans settled the continent.
Enormous beasts with enormous thirst. The teams are primed and ready.
They got the first animal into space, and they've got the first person.
Time to see what the boys can do.
Make massive moves with Starsat. Make massive moves.
Isn't that your daughter's bib?
But the truth is, I feel like Arabella's always with me.
Don't you ever forget this man's face. He killed your brother.
Don't shoot! Please don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Make massive moves with Starsat. Make massive moves.
I feel confident. I feel like I can take on the world.
So you're telling a story through your clothes.
Such a professional, you wouldn't even know.
Criticism is one of my biggest motivations.
Darling, you want to be a model?
Like, oh my God.
I'm glistening.
The fashion industry needs people with beautiful faces.
I would pay thousands of dollars for that look.
Make massive moves with Starsat.
I want you to eat healthy food because it's delicious.
Make massive moves.
Would you like another one?
I love it.
I love this soup. This is amazing. The grits are so creamy. Oh,
I take pride in my grits.
so flavorful.
I think that looks wonderful.
Yeah.
It's so incredible.
Make massive moves with Starsat. Make massive moves.
Wow! Let's go. Come on, we can be back by morning.
Who are you?
I'm the boss.
Really?
Really?
Yeah! Awesome! Totally! Very funny.
Make massive moves with Starsat. Make massive moves.
You're the best fighter in China.
Give me the Emperor's sword, and I'll spare your life.
Shisha sector's gone too far.
Make massive moves with Starsat. Make massive moves.
How can you say that?
That is what it is.
Your mother eloped with someone else.
I just think this is such a genius idea. I think it's amazing.
I can be happy.
It's inside you. It's inside of all of us.
It's about cooking smart that are nutritious and delicious.
President Trump acknowledging the coronavirus death toll could be significantly higher.
You don't want to do this. There is nothing you can take.
Welcome back, Africa. We are on 360 Sports. We are coming live to you from Midrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. Keep following us on 360 Sports on Facebook. Keep following us on Galaxy Universal Network, on Channel 500, on Starsat. Like I said to you earlier on before we went to the commercial break, I said we have a guest this afternoon. I have to introduce. You can see him. He is right here next to me. His name is Sduduzo Masuku. He is being involved with Soccer Dream for the past 4 years. He holds a BA in journalism, and the reason behind his involvement, behind his project, was a desire to make a positive impact in the society. I mean, I'm in this media space, and my producer, I'm sure, will laugh at me when I say this. Now, this is a journalist. I'm supposed to be interviewing a journalist. It's supposed to be other way around. That's the journalist. Sduduzo, welcome to 360 Sports.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, to be honest.
Good. I said I will introduce you because, our guests, normally they like to know their guests, prior, we introduce them. So I always say in 360 Sports that you can guide me from the journalism point of view. Is it a right approach or not? We always keep it to ourselves, and then we bring the guest in, then we introduce the guest. Is that the right approach?
Actually, that's a perfect approach. Actually.
Oh, that's good. I like keep them at suspense, keep them not knowing. Exactly. But I'm going to pick. We are football persons, Sduduzo. So I'm going to pick your brain on this one. Yep. So we'll go on the headlines in terms of what is happening in the world of football. Correct. And then we'll be able to then interact. Then we will get into what you do and the reason why you are here.
No problem.
Let's come back, Africa. We start with Chang. That is taking place in Cameroon. Rahimi nets twice as Morocco bury Uganda. Softy Rahimi scored twice for African Nations Champions title holders Morocco as they came from behind to trounce Uganda 5-2 in the Douala on Tuesday and reach the quarterfinals. The defending champions were joined in the knockout stage by Rwanda, who trailed Togo twice before Jacqueline Triong and Enes Sugira scored within 6 minutes to create a 3-2 victory in Ilembe. Morocco, who hopes to become the first back-to-back winners of the competition for home-based players. Top Group C with 7 points. Rwanda had 5, Togo 3, and Uganda 1. In the quarterfinals, Morocco played the Group D runners-up and the Rwanda Group D winners, and their rivals will be known on Wednesday after Guinea faced Tanzania and Zambia meets out of contention against Namibia. The record 2-time champions, the Democratic Republic of Congo, confront host nation Cameroon, and Mali tackle Congo-Brazzaville in other last 8 pairing. What is happening at Cheng? Yes. I asked this question earlier on to my director. I said, hey, why is Bafana Bafana not in Cameroon?
Actually, I'm not quite sure with the story with Bafana Bafana.
Yes.
But, I'm in the COSAFA group as well.
Yes.
It's been quite interesting, the results from the chain. You see, there are countries like Uganda,
yes.
like Guinea.
Yes.
They're coming up very good in football, actually,
Yeah.
As a scout myself, we work with quite a lot with also, there's a Gambian soccer player that we know.
Yes.
Modu Jobe is a first-team goalkeeper for Gambia national team. They've got some quite good talent there coming up, and it's been very interesting, this chain, because, as you know, also, it's a difficult time,
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure about Bafana Bafana, but I think I read a story somewhere that they pulled out or something like that. It's just speculations. I'm not gonna. I don't have enough information about it.
It's a pity. Yeah. It's a pity that they will pull out in some so-called mini-more tournaments. But these are the tournaments that prepares you for the real thing. We will see coach and say, that you will, you will make it to AFCON and win it. Yeah. Because then we will not have mercy for you if you do not use such, competitions. Because if you have to go play in the West African continent and win, it shows that we are almost ready for it. But as it may, as you can see that Morocco, they're taking this tournament very serious. And I saw also the game Cameroon against Zimbabwe, that they were also very aggressive in terms of making sure that they wanted to win. But it's a good platform for locally based players to be exposed in the international stage. Like a lot of scouts, they still go there and look for new players.
That is true.
Anyway, let's bring it closer to home now. Here in South Africa, DStv Premier Premiership results. We just give you results.
Yeah.
Orlando Pirates, I was joking earlier on to my director and said, Orlando Pirates a draw, it's a win. It's Orlando Pirates against TS Galaxy. They played a 1-1 draw.
I actually watched the game, to be quite honest. You know, from my analysis point of view.
Yes.
I watched the whole game. You know, Pirates started very well. You know, on the left side, Bongani Sem, he was causing a lot of problems for Mokoena, Lucky Boy Mokoena. And, you know, in a football game, moments like those are very important when you just scored the goal.
Yeah.
So Pirates lost concentration shortly after scoring a beautiful goal from the left. You know, it was well orchestrated. And one thing that I've been saying about Pirates, that I've been seeing also with Pirates, is that the lack of concentration. They play good football, and they have this mentality of going full speed when they start the matches. Or sometimes they start cold and then they develop as the matches go. But unfortunately, in a situation like that, you need to start strong if you want to challenge for the championship. Against TX Galaxy, they started strong. Unfortunately, they scored the goal and then they went to sleep. And then TX Galaxy scored.
Equalized.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, anyway, TX Galaxy needed that point. And then Baroka Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs at home.
And Kaizer Chiefs at home. I also checked that game. Like I was watching. I was watching both games in between. I think Kaizer Chiefs, they're becoming better and better.
Yes.
And Baroka, they're in trouble. You know, they're in trouble. Kaizer Chiefs is becoming better though. They're starting to get those combinations. I think Gavin, you know, we spoke with Gavin, like my friends and I. My friend is quite close to Gavin, you know, before he went to Chiefs, you know. And we've known Gavin for a long time because we watch. We used to go to Bidvest, watch the matches.
Yes.
Gavin is a sort of coach that works with the players. That suits his style. So at Kaizer Chiefs, you know, he has nothing to work with, to be quite honest. But he's tried now to see some combinations, and they're coming together. And moving Cardoso into the midfield actually helped him a lot because. He's able to be the screening to screen from the defense, between the defense and the midfield. So it's it's working quite well in some youngsters.
I saw against Stellenbosch, he played like 6 defenders in one game.
You know, with Stellenbosch, there's a thing with Stellenbosch. You know, Stellenbosch, they have a lot of energetic players going forward. So I think it was just he could see that he was just picking up the momentum, the club, and then he wanted to, you know, make sure that also he keeps up that momentum. And they were lucky because Stellenbosch were coming at them hard. But he managed to seal the victory, so which is important in a situation like.
I've said it to my producer and I've said it to my director. I said 5. It was 3 out of 3, 4 out of 4. Now it's 5 out of 5. 6 out of 6 is coming up now without lose, which means they are in a different direction now. Kaizer Chiefs, wish them all the best. Now let's quickly move on to EPL. Tunnel appointed Chelsea manager on the 18th deal. 18-month deal. Thomas Tuchel became the latest manager to take over from Chelsea North Seat when the Premier League club confirmed on the German as a Frank Lampard replacement. The 47-year-old former Borussia Dortmund and Paris Saint-Germain coach has agreed an 18-month contract with option of another year in the West London club, announced. I would like to thank, I mean, really, this story for me, it was, you know, a bit heartbreaking because, I mean, Frank was not even allowed to go say bye to the players in the morning at the training session. Then in the evening, the coach, because we broke the story yesterday here on 360 Sports, and then in the evening, the new coach is at training. Not that it's been unveiled, is at training. But before we go into that story as well, let's just give you the latest results that came out last night in England in the EPL. Leeds United beating Newcastle United. Bruce is in trouble there in Newcastle. Manchester City 5 and West Brom Albion 0. Southampton lost this time around to Arsenal. I almost said Southampton beating Arsenal because that was the weekend results. But again, Arteta came back strongly yesterday, and then Crystal Palace going 2 goals down to West Ham, which was another London derby. And what is happening in England?
Just to start with the Lampard story, you know, when Lampard got the job, and a lot of people were saying, no, Lampard is going to do well. But you know what? I could see this coming. You know, Lampard, to be quite honest, he failed at Derby County.
At Derby County,
like he didn't do much, you know. Derby
Yeah.
County didn't get promotion,
Yeah.
and people were making noise. No, he knows the Chelsea culture.
Yes.
And he goes. One thing that I'm very critical of, he goes and spent almost 300 million pounds in transfers.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, he spent so much time and energy and money into bolstering from the midfield to the strikers. He left the defense and he bought a 36-year-old Thiago Silva with no Premier League experience.
Yes,
Premier League
yes.
can be very harsh.
Yeah.
You look at Maguire at Man United with a lot of Premier League experience, but he's struggling. So I asked that question: how can you go and spend money on a 21-year-old Kai Havertz, no Premier League experience?
Yeah.
Timo Werner, yes, they needed a striker because Giroud is aging and Tammy Abraham is still quite young, you know, not to put pressure on Tammy Abraham.
Yeah.
As for Thomas Tuchel coming into the system, I think Roman Abramovich, as we all know, that he does not take prisoners.
Yeah.
He already knew that there was a man coming for Frank Lampard because Lampard was struggling, seriously struggling.
Yeah. But keeping in with the story in England, because it speaks again with the movement of players. Let's come back to your project, Soccer Dream. What is Soccer Dream all about?
Soccer Dream, just to be very precise, it's a scouting agency and a players agency. So basically, we look for fine young talent, and we look to change their lives through football and education as well. We have the education element into it, you know. And as you know, that in Africa, there's a lot of talent that's still undiscovered. In South Africa, there's a lot of talent that also still undiscovered. Talent that just goes unnoticed. So we have sat together, came up with this program whereby we're looking to discover this talent. You know, we have a couple of players that have made it in the PSL. They were nobody in like months ago, but now they somebody. So and if we can discover more talent like that in different provinces, we feel that we have a chance of getting the next Percy Tau.
By the way, you are in over 16 countries in the African continent. They are listening to you, watching you live as we speak now. How do they get in touch with Soccer Dreams in terms of, you know, coming to participate on the trials?
So we have our programs. We have our programs tailor-made for the under 16s. Sorry, for the under 15s. So from 12 to 15-year-olds. And then we have the seniors from 16 to 23. So you can get through us. We have our website. It has all the information. It's www.soccerdream.com. You can check all the information there. And on our website, you'll find our contact details, our email address, info@soccerdream.com. You'll find our telephone numbers as well. You basically send us a message. It's either you send us a message or you send us an email to request a registration form and a brochure. A brochure explains everything that we do because normally we host these 5-day football trials. So in these 5-day football trials, you know, surprisingly, we have players coming from Tanzania, players coming from Zimbabwe, Zambia, Cape Town, all over the country and all over Africa as well. And we give you the brochure. You sign up and then you're part of the program.
What we will do as well, 360 viewers, is that we will post Soccer Dreams info on our 360 Sport page, and also try so that you can catch up and get this info from us. Again, Africa, it's always a matter of time. That is always not on our side when we give you the latest in the world of sport. But again, tomorrow it's another day. We'll be able to bring you some more sporting news and sporting events and sporting results that will be coming out tonight in the African and European and the American continent. Next week we'll be starting bringing you the program around basketball in the USA. Anyway, this is my show. This is our show. My director is saying the words that I hate to hear, but Africa, it's been our show. Adios.